When the day cometh that they shall believe in me, that I am Christ, then have I covenanted with their fathers that they shall be restored in the flesh upon the earth. It's a literal physical restoration. It's not just spiritual, because Israel once had a promised land, correct? And so they will again, the natural lineages I'm speaking of. During the millennial age, they will receive permanent inheritances in the millennial land. They shall be restored in the flesh upon the earth unto the lands of their inheritance. And it shall come to pass that they shall be gathered in from their long dispersion. Well, yes, 2,700 years. From the isles of the sea and from the four parts of the earth. And the nations of the Gentiles shall be great in the eyes of me, saith God, in carrying them forth to the lands of their inheritance. Yea, the kings of the Gentiles shall be nursing fathers unto them, and their queens shall become nursing mothers. And this is all about Latter-day Saints and what our role is as Ephraimites, a birthright tribe, in fulfilling our mission or role or ministry to the house of Israel. So even though the bulk of us, like the Jews, apostatize, there were Jews who took the gospel to the Gentiles. In this case, it is these kings and queens, these spiritual kings and queens who do that. Like the sons of Messiah, they served a mission without from the Nephites to the Lamanites and converted thousands upon thousands all at once. That will repeat itself in the end time. That is a typological event that repeats itself. Then we read in 3 Nephi 16 again from Jesus, verses 4 and 5, the fullness of the Gentiles ministers to Israel. We discussed that the fullness of the Gentiles were the descendants of Ephraim in the end time. It's an expression that characterizes the people of Ephraim in the end time. The consummation of the Gentiles, the fullness of the Gentiles. It's those Gentiles who prove to be loyal to the Lord God, who are not rebellious, who don't apostatize, they are the seed of Ephraim. They are the true lineage of Ephraim, which throws off the shackles of assimilation and takes on its end-time role of saviors to the house of Israel. These sayings which ye shall write shall be kept and shall be manifested unto the Gentiles, that through the fullness of the Gentiles, that is, through the descendants of Ephraim, the remnant of their seed who shall be scattered forth upon the face of the earth because of their unbelief, may be brought in, or may be brought to a knowledge of me, their Redeemer, and then will I gather them in from the four quarters of the earth, and then will I fulfill the covenant which the Father hath made unto the people of the house of Israel. Okay, so we've talked about the apostasy of the Gentiles, the house of Israel believing, and now we're talking about these Gentiles, who are the descendants of Ephraim, taking on their role of saviors and gathering them from the four quarters of the earth and fulfilling the Father's covenant with the house of Israel. We do that, or we will do that, or we shall do that, or some of us will do it, take it on. And then, when does this happen? 1 Nephi 14:17. Deliverance and destruction occur together or simultaneously. When the day cometh that the wrath of God is poured out upon the mother of harlots, upon the entire earth, really, Babylon, which is the great and abominable church of all the earth, whose founder is the devil, then at that day the work of the Father shall commence in preparing the way for the fulfilling of his covenants which he hath made to his people who are of the house of Israel. So it happens in a time of worldwide disaster and destruction. Would you think that that might be getting closer, the way the world is heading? But there's going to be opposition to this work. Of course, there's always opposition, and that's going to test the saints and test the saviors, test everybody. From 3 Nephi 29:9, ye need not suppose that ye can turn the right hand of the Lord unto the left, that he may not execute judgment unto the fulfilling of the covenant which he hath made unto the house of Israel. So there are some who are thinking that, hey, that's not where it's at, that's not where we've been taught, that's not, where'd you get that? Well, it's here in the scriptures, of course. If they'll just look, there's going to be opposition, very likely from within our own ranks, which is usually where the worst opposition comes from, as you know. And then 3 Nephi 20, verse 22, the New Jerusalem is going to be the land of inheritance for the house of Israel. This people, speaking to the Nephites of that time, Jesus, this people will I establish in this land, that is the Americas, unto the fulfilling of the covenant which I made with your father Jacob, and it shall be a new Jerusalem. And the powers of heaven shall be in the midst of this people, yea, even I will be in the midst. And that is, of course, when Jesus comes and dwells in Zion among his people.